Hey there, welcome to Morning Blend. I'm Rohan Siddhanti.
My name is Dubey.
We have a bunch of interesting topics today.
Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
2 weeks ago, Time magazine published an editorial by Joel Stein. The piece was called My Own Private Little India, and it was supposed to be a satire on the situation in Edison with the influx of Indians and how this guy's community has transformed,
right.
how he feels like he can't really go back there because it's so many Indians there. Rohan, you were the first person to send me this article. You had like 8 angry faces in the subject line. I got to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so I want to share my views on this. What you're seeing here is an opinion piece written by Joel Stein. So it was at the end of Time magazine. The theme for that magazine was Thomas Alva Edison, so it was sticking with that theme. He basically writes a very humorless piece about Indians and how they've come into the community. You should go check it out. It's online, but I believe he had humorous intent, but he used incorrect racial slurs.
Totally.
He used inappropriate language and made fun of the wrong things when it came to our particular ethnic community, and it came off the wrong way.
That's right. The jokes just didn't translate for me. In one of his first lines, he says that "dot heads was the best racist insult we could come up with for a group of people whose gods have multiple arms and an elephant nose." And this really struck me, and it also struck Shivani Srivastava on Huffington Post, who calls him out and says in the 1980s there was a hate crime group called the Dot Busters who used to bash around Indians. And even today there's so many hate crimes being done against Indians. And you told me about Cal Penn's reaction.
That's the thing, and Cal Penn, who grew up a couple miles from Edison, was infuriated by this, and he was like, "Oh, I've never heard anyone make fun of dot busters. I've never heard anyone make fun of, you know, curry or smelling like Indians. Like, no one's made fun of our gods before." He's right. This is such unoriginal humor, and I'm not just saying this because we're Indian. Like, other friends of mine that have read Time magazine have been like, "Aren't you mad about this article?" Another thing he did was, and you can read this quote in a bit, he insulted sort of the economic and socioeconomic makeup of the group. And he said, "We brought over, you know, all the wrong kinds of people and it became poor." Let me just rattle off a couple statistics here. The U.S. poverty rate is roughly 13.5%. Edison, New Jersey is 11%. The median income in Edison is $82,000. New Jersey is $70,000. Edison is one of the safest cities to live in. It was ranked by U.S. News and World Report as the top 10 places in the country to grow up. It's an awesome city. I don't know why he would write something like this.
I think what Stein did was he took these stereotypes of Indians being fantastic engineers, fantastic doctors, whose kids are spelling bee rock stars, take advanced math courses, and he sort of applied that to the whole racial group. And, you know, once he finally interacted with some working class Indians, he expressed a little disgust.
Yeah, well, Time magazine has issued an apology, and, you know, Joel Stein is issuing multiple apologies. Also, by the way, the International Time did not run this piece.
Yeah, I wonder why, huh?
There could be different factors on that, but for what it's worth, I think we're going to see a backlash, and hopefully they won't publish a story this sort of humorless in the future.
I agree.
I want to move on to another topic. This time, it's not about models. So all you aunties out there, breathe a sigh of relief. You don't have to take your kids and take them to the bathroom. We're not going to talk about an Indian model this time. We have a different angle and a different topic to bring up. There's a lady whose nickname is Miss Manners. There was an article about a week and a half ago in the Post about this lady named Priya Warwick, and she's running a successful business out of New Delhi that teaches young professionals the social customs, social norms, etiquette, being suave, being charming, different things like this that you need to learn in the business world. What do you think about this?
Well, she's a pretty big deal to start off with. She used to have a reality show in Britain that she would take like 4 people, really shape them up. Kind
of like a VH1 kind of show, right?
Yeah. So she knows what she's doing. And I think it's really cool how the diversity of professionals that she's interacting with. She's helping Bollywood actors, MBAs, call center techies, everyone who wants to move forward in their careers, learn these manners, learn these Western ideas to really get ahead in the business world.
That's right. And just to give our viewers a scope and an idea of how this industry is really emerging, Infosys has 50,000 people a year that they graduate from their leadership programs. They have 80,000 students that go to these refining classes. They have 400 different centers where they teach these people how to use which fork, how to smell good, different things like that.
Yeah.
And I think this is a first step that India is taking in the right direction, away from simply the normal stereotypical engineering memorization smarts and into the suave business, how to win friends and influence people smarts.
I completely agree. And that begins in the educational system there.
Right.
And I think in the past there's been a lot of emphasis on memorization. I mean, India emphasizes test skills, but not people skills. You know, I attended a talk, Rohan. I was telling you this the other day.
You were telling me.